What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. All right, cool. So today we're going to talk about something pretty serious, and that's why I think world war is possible. If you're watching this in the future, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. It's March 3rd, 2022. All right, so let's break it down. I want to talk about why, and this isn't clickbait, I genuinely think a world war is possible. In Eastern Europe, in the Ukraine-Russian area, okay? So let me break it down for you. So first of all, obviously tensions are escalating, but there's talks of a no-fly zone over Ukraine, okay? For the most part, the Biden admin has said that they would oppose that, but there are very powerful war hawks who are pushing for that. So if you don't know what a no-fly zone is, it's very simple, right? You can't fly over this area. Now, if you do fly, we're going to shoot down your jets, okay? Now, if it were the U.S. to shoot down Russian jets, that would obviously be an act of war, okay? If Russia were to retaliate, which they most likely would, we would likely be sucked into that war. But I think what's maybe more likely is Ukraine is now sending airstrikes from Poland, okay? Now, if you don't know, Poland is both an EU and a NATO country, okay? So if Russia were to take out those airfields, right, that would then be an act of war against both an EU and a NATO country, which would essentially start a world war, right? If the U.S. and the rest of Europe, we could just essentially say the U.S., but if NATO were to declare war on Russia, that would also likely pull in China, and there you have a world war. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, the U.S. is in no place to fight a world war, right? So let me answer that a little bit. Now, why would the U.S. want a world war, right? Okay. Well, let's talk about politics a little bit, all right? So I was speaking to a friend actually just last night, and we were talking about politics and, whether Joe Biden get reelected. And he was saying, basically, I think there's a 0% chance that Joe Biden would get reelected. And I said, I don't think it's a 0% chance. I think it's very close to that, but let me tell you how Joe Biden gets reelected. And unfortunately for normal people like you and me, it's through a world war, all right? Now, if you don't know, war is big business and war is great politics, unfortunately, right? A world war would be an immediate boon to the economy, right? It would be an immediate boon to the stock market, and it would almost guarantee a re-election, okay? The reason being, in times of crisis, right, specifically war, it almost 100% of the time the incumbent gets reelected, okay? So in this situation, right, or if you think about like George Bush in '04, right, he wasn't a particularly popular president, but he steamrolled, I believe it was John Kerry in '04, and it was most likely because of the two wars that he started. So, yeah, I think the establishment does have a lot of interests, which unfortunately do align with world war. So anyway, guys, that's just about my take. Just to give you kind of, if you're interested in my political perspective, so you kind of know where I'm coming from. I would kind of consider myself a centrist populist, but I'm extremely anti-war, and I think I'm going to do a whole pretty deep dive anti-war series because I do know quite a bit on this issue specifically, and then geopolitics more generally. Anyway, if you like this content, please make sure to smash that like button and that subscribe button.